I don't know if y'all would agree out there. You gotta let me know. It feels like the world like stops spinning just a little bit whenever something Grand Theft Auto 6 related comes out, whether it's a delay or whatever. When something happens with Grand Theft Auto 6, it's like the whole world kind of slows. The time has come, and so have I. I'll laugh last because you came to die. All right, the Game Awards, December 11th. I did catch the live stream with Jeff Keighley where he went over all 29 categories for the Game Awards, culminating in the 6 nominees for Game of the Year 2025. And when I think about it, I don't think I've done a predictions video on my channel for the past 2 years. So this video is going to be a bit different. Instead of me selecting what I think is going to win based on what I want to win or what I enjoyed personally, I'm actually going to choose what I think is going to win based on what the jury will select. And I think almost every single year that the Game Awards is put on, I think people forget that there actually is a voting jury. Nominations for the Game Awards are selected by a voting jury of over 100 leading media and influencer outlets across the globe. AKA, don't get mad at Jeff Keighley when your favorite game doesn't win. I'm sure people probably just get mad at like IGN and Polygon and Kotaku and stuff, but don't get mad. Just recognize that this is like the one night that, the game industry gets to kind of celebrate themselves. So we should all be happy for that. All right. The 29 different categories. And I'm going to be up front right now. I'm going to be honest. I did not vote for all 29 categories because I didn't play this many games. I don't know that much about these games. I follow gaming news, but I'm not that dialed into what's happening in the gaming industry in 2025. So I only voted in 13 categories based on what I either would play or what I've heard or I know something about a little bit. So I'm going to just go ahead and put up my voter card right now. So as you can tell here, I guess this might be like the bulk of the video. I do have Game of the Year going to Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and this is a sweep. I think I have it winning in 8 categories. Now, I feel the need to explain myself. Now, either I usually don't see eye to eye, and I'm not on the same wavelength as most people when it comes to most things in life. But man, you'd have to be living under a rock not to recognize how pivotal, how important Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is. And it's not just its Metacritic score or its IGN score. It's like, from what I've heard and the bits I've seen of the gameplay and heard of the music and heard of the narrative, this is like leagues ahead of everything else that came out in 2025. And I am actually going to be doing a video essay talking a little bit more about Game of the Year and why it's important in another video. But for this video, which I want to keep relatively short, I have this thing sweeping. I think that from what I've heard and seen and looking at the other contenders in those categories, I mean, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, 9 different categories. Now, I was thinking, as far as best action adventure, I saw a little bit of Split Fiction, and it is essentially more It Takes Two, but I think that Hazelight Studios did manage to dial things up a bit more with that game, and I do see it taking that category, or at least, like I said, I think that's what the jury will lean on. As far as action game, I absolutely think Hades 2 is a bit of a step up from the first Hades game. Most anticipated game, I don't know if y'all would agree out there. You gotta let me know. It feels like the world like stops spinning just a little bit whenever something Grand Theft Auto 6 related comes out, whether it's a delay or whatever. When something happens with Grand Theft Auto 6, it's like the whole world kind of slows. So the last time I saw a game that was the most anticipated game that like it was a no-brainer was, of course, Elden Ring years ago. So Grand Theft Auto 6 is of course going to take it. And depending on how you feel about this last topic, best adaptation, The Last of Us Season 2. I'm one of those people, I've never played Last of Us Part 1, I've never played Last of Us Part 2, but I recognize how much of an impact The Last of Us was in the different versions that it's come out as, whether it's the TV show or the remake or the original on the PlayStation 3 or Last of Us Part 2. So I'd like to think that the discourse, I'm sure it hasn't, but I'd like to think that the discourse regarding Last of Us and things with the characters living and dying has kind of died down a little bit. And from what I heard, yes, there was some issue that people had with Season 2 kind of going a slightly different direction than the game for Last of Us. But I think for its adaptation for the TV screen as opposed to a video game, from what I saw and what I feel like, you know, I heard from different reviewers, it seemed like this is probably the best out of the things that were in that category. I mean, come on, Until Dawn was in that category. But yeah, relatively short video. That's my vote card. I think Clair Obscur is going to, like I said, clean up at the Game Awards. I think they added 29 categories so that they couldn't just give it to everything. And I was thinking about this, and I hope my memory is accurate when it comes to this. I think the last time, there's 2 times that there was a sweep this big when it came to the Game Awards, assuming that I'm correct about all this, and I might be wrong, but I think that it's going to go this direction. So I have it taking 8, but Red Dead Redemption, I think in 2018, claimed 4 awards, but didn't get Game of the Year because I think they went to God of War. And then in 2020, it's on the list, but Last of Us Part 2, it won 7 awards and then also took, you know, Game of the Year. So this might be one of those instances where Clair Obscur is just like taking home trophy after trophy for all the different award categories and possibly even Game of the Year. So yeah, I'm curious how this is going to go. I think this is more or less going to be the card, and you can feel free to come back to this video and let me know I was wrong if that's the case. But I'm curious what other people think. I'm going to be paying attention to social media as far as what people think is going to win Game of the Year. And then also there's the player's choice that Jeff Keighley talked about. So I mean, come on. It's either going to be Silk Song, it's going to be, or Clair Obscur, right? It's got to be one of those two. So I'm going to be paying attention to social media. I want to see what other people think. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Like I said, I'm going to be dropping another video essay at some point in the near future about Game of the Year and why I think it's really important to the game industry. So that's going to do it for me. Short video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.